Mike McElroy here with Timeless Fence. Today we would like to talk about hanging a metal gate off of the PVC end brace. This end brace happens to be a Super H end brace. The other two end braces that we do carry at Timeless Fence is the Classic H, which just has one of the horizontal braces here. And then the other one is the A-frame, like you can see on this side of this end post here. So either one of those can be used actually to hang a metal gate from. So what I wanted to show you today is how we do that and some of the pieces that it takes to get the pin and the gate hinged up correctly. When you install your end brace, any of the three end braces, at the same time that you put your H post, your vertical post in the hole, you also want to add another H post on this side over here. And it's actually attached perpendicular. So you have one post running this direction and one this direction, and you want to bolt those together. Now, necessarily you do not need to have the leg here that we have in this particular shot. You can actually do without this leg, but this is something that we did new last year for the first time, and we have found out since then that this leg is not necessarily needed, unless maybe you might be in a soil type that is very sandy and you want some extra support. But other than that, we're having some very good success in hanging these gates. So one of the things that we need to do is to have this square tubing available that will fit inside this channel. Okay, and the purpose for that is when you drill your hole for your pin, you'll have a place for that washer to sit up against and flush with the outside of the H right here. So in this particular setting, the gate is hung directly off of the vertical post that is on this brace. And so what we did here is we put a piece of tubing on both sides. So from the pin on this side, from the gate hinge side, we put a small piece of tubing, and then on the other side, we drilled our hole and we ran our pin through there, and then we set our hinge on there. One little unique thing right here that I'll show you is normally these pins on the top are turned upside down. This one, we did something a little different. We just drilled a hole in the pin and stuck a pin through there, or I think a time or two we've actually used a piece of 12.5 gauge high tensile wire to run through there, just so that the hinge does not pop up, in case an animal wants to hit the gate or something like that and pick it up. So that'll keep the hinge from coming off of the pin. So we've had, like I said, we've had very good success in hanging. This is a 16-foot gate. There are several customers that have hung 12-foot gates, and just with an H post perpendicular to the other vertical post. These are bolted, like I said, together in two different locations. One happens to be up here and one is about middle ways down. We're in the ground a minimum 30 inches deep. One 180-pound bag of Quikrete concrete in the bottom of the hole, and then back filled up with dirt. And so you can see that you can hang a metal gate off of PVC. It's tight. There is still a little bit of flexibility, you might say. But one of the things that I do want to mention is that any time that the gate is open for a long period of time, or when it's closed, I would recommend setting the weight on something at the end of that gate. This particular gate, we have a wheel on the end of it, and over time, even if it was a wood post, the gate's going to give. The gate has got flexibility in it, and it's going to want it. You know, you can move it up and down 4, 5, 6 inches. So I think instead of doing that, you know, and having all the stress on your post, whether it's a wood post or a PVC, it really doesn't make any difference. You're going to have stress is when you close the gate and have it hooked up, then go ahead and set it on a stob or you know, a 4x4, but it needs to rest on something. So there's several different things that you can use. So here again, we've got, you know, we've got a pin through here. We have our washer that's nice and flush up against our square tubing. We do provide the square tubing when we send these kits to producers. And I think that's, we have a lot of questions on how the square tubing works, how many you need. You can take this H and put it perpendicular still over here. So instead of it being this situation, you can have the H sitting over here, and that way, when you drill your hole, you would only have one piece of tubing on the back side, and then you have the flat side here. But I would still go ahead and put a piece of tubing inside there just to make that nice and rigid in there.